It's obscene. It's a grotesque display of his new power as president to pardon these 1,500 or 1,600 people, which I have to imagine includes people that committed violent assaults on law enforcement. It certainly includes, apparently, one of the leaders of the Proud Boys. Rather fitting, sadly, that among his very first acts in office is to give a pardon to a white nationalist leader like that. So hard to imagine that we were sitting in the Capitol, the site of that attack, and hours later, the man who incited that attack pardons the people who participated in that attack. It really is a terrible way to begin, but not a surprising way.
Now, one more time. Biden commuted the life sentence of a man who murdered execution style 2 FBI agents. Has Schiff said a word about that? And regarding the Proud Boy people, they were convicted and they did some time. They're not going to get their time back, even if, and Donald Trump has not pardoned them. So far, he's commuted their sentence, which means they're out of jail. He may convert the pardon, the commutation to a pardon, but he has not done so yet. Even if he does, it doesn't take back the fact that they at least spent time behind bars. Of the 2,000 people, 2,000 officers that were assaulted, injured during the BLM riots beginning in May of 2020, how many of their perps were actually arrested, actually prosecuted, actually convicted? Yet they were egged on, cheered on, as I said before, by people like Kamala Harris, who went on a late night show and said they're not going to stop, nor should they stop. And we talked about the cop in St. Louis who was protecting one of the stores. He was murdered. But all of a sudden now these people are Dirty Harry. Now getting back to the Central Park Five. This took place in 1989. For those of you who are too young to remember this, I urge you to check this out. I have a video about this on YouTube called The Truth About the Central Park Five. Just type in Larry Elder, The Truth About the Central Park Five. It should pop up. And as I said before, I interviewed the lead detective. Ken Burns, who did a documentary claiming that they were innocent, did not interview the lead detective, who, by the way, happened to be black. Ava DuVernay, who did a movie claiming that they were innocent, did not interview the lead detective. Interestingly enough, though, she did interview the Central Park joggers' doctor, who claimed that there were many men, based on the semen samples, who raped her. Why is this important? Well, because the reason they were, quote-unquote, exonerated is because a man behind bars named Mateus Reyes claimed that he alone raped the Central Park jogger and that the others were unfairly prosecuted and convicted. Mateus Reyes, by the way, raped his own mother. Give you an idea of how credible he is. And he said he acted alone. Well, the doctor of the Central Park jogger said that there were semen samples inside of her from several different men. Ava DuVernay interviewed the doctor and did not include what the doctor said in her film. Why? Because she said she did not believe the doctor. Please tell me what incentive the Central Park jogger's doctor would have to lie about this. One of the defendants told his sister, who told the police, that all he ever did was hold her arm. Well, the sister did not realize that what she was doing was admitting that her brother committed a crime, because the Central Park Five were charged with acting in concert. If you hold somebody's arm while somebody else is doing the rape, you are equally culpable. And she did not realize she was essentially confirming her brother's guilt. Not only does the lead detective stand by the conviction, so do the lead prosecutors. They were able to find some judge, some bleeding heart judge, who decided based on Mateus Reyes' statement that those boys were completely innocent, and he exonerated them, and they sued New York, got a bunch of money, and then one of them had the nerve to then run for public office and get elected and is now serving in the assembly. But they were dead bang guilty. So if the January 6 people were convicted by a jury of their peers, we ought to give that some weight. Don't you think maybe, just maybe, the fact that these Central Park Five were convicted by a jury of their peers? And by the way, in the movie, Ava DuVernay shows them being denied water, being denied the ability to go to the bathroom, being interviewed without their parent or without a guardian. All of that is untrue. In fact, you can go on YouTube and watch all the interviews. It's on there. It's boring. They're sitting there being asked question after question after question. And when they wanted water, they got water. When they wanted a Coke, they got a Coke. So the movie is just chock full of lies, one after another, after another, after another. And when Keith Boykin was used by Sonny Hostin to show how racist Donald Trump is, that's one of the examples he gave, that Donald Trump took out a full-page ad during this time and condemned the Central Park Five, not by name, and urged that the death penalty be invoked. For that, Donald Trump is perceived to be a racist, even though he was dead right about their guilt. Give me a break. Thanks for watching these clips from The Larry Elder Show. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss a moment. More thought-provoking discussions are just a click away, so stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one.